Guys, Grayson Goff here with BKIPaintball.com. I'm going to be walking through the 2015 SPL Sunshine State Open. It's going to be March 22nd at Gator Paintball Extreme in Hudson, Florida. So Darren over at PB Access actually sent me a message the other day and was telling me about this cool new app for the iPad where I can basically telestrate, like an NFL game or a NBA game. I can telestrate on my iPad screen. So we're going to be trying out this new app today. It's really cool. I may mess up here and there a little bit, but it's gonna allow me to walk through these fields with a little bit more tools at my disposal. So let's get started. I wanted to talk about, generally whenever I get a field layout, the first thing I look at is the snake. If it's a long connected snake, right away I know it's going to be the most powerful bunker on the field. This field is a little bit different because you see there are some gaps in that snake, but because of the way this 50 is set up and how it bumps into the field, and there's, once somebody gets in, you have snake one, there's a gap, and then once they get into that second part, there really isn't much of a way to stop them from coming into your side. So we're going to see a lot of action over here. The main goal of any practice, honestly, if you're going to do any drills, is learn how to shoot out guys running the snake side, whether they're going corner or to that can or into the snake off the break. If you can shoot this side effectively and own this, and basically, if you can shoot this side effectively and own this side of the field, and basically you're going to own that bunker. You're going to own this massive bunker on the 50-yard line that also goes into their side. That's going to be the most important thing you can learn to do effectively. So, like I said, long connected snake, it's going to be super powerful. Right away, whenever I break down one of these fields, what I look for first are kill bunkers. And what I mean by kill bunkers are bunkers you get to and you can immediately start killing other dudes on the other side of the field. So it's easy for me to see, once you get past snake one, you can immediately crawl up into their snake. So right away, we have a really solid kill bunker, and it's in their 40 snake, where we can put a lot of pressure on anyone in the center. We can put pressure on back center. We may have to back up off the snake a little bit to put pressure on these Dorito support bunkers. But because of the way the snake's set up, that should be pretty easy. You check off those center guys, and you can play up and down this snake quite a bit. Basically right here, any part in this area right here, you can play. As long as you're making sure to check off those center guys, you can play pretty loose and at least take a few pop shots at guys. Dorito 1 is almost a dead to right kill shot as well. Same thing with this Dorito 2. If you push in and shoot over that mini race, that could be, if he's playing loose at all, he's dead. There could potentially be a shot on the 50 Dorito. You may be able to sneak it into that pin. But like I said, walking that snake, having your snake guys know, and that goes all the way back to your support guys on the snake side too. They need to know all these shots, where in the snake they can get these kills. Even coming back to this Mayan, there also seems to be a shot on the snake corner. It won't be a dead to right kill shot because that wing is pretty long, but still, knowing these shots and knowing whenever you hear Dorito 2, where to be. When you hear back left or Dorito corner, where you need to be to shoot that, so you can quickly get there and put paint on that guy. One of the things I noticed, and I'm going to kind of jump around because it's I just noticed it right now. This could be a really tricky shot. So obviously, if the guy's in snake 1, he's going to put in your corner and he's going to crawl around. Ooh, that's a bad drawing. He's going to crawl around and then immediately try to go into the 50. Obviously, while he's crawling towards that pin, you won't have a shot from the corner. But as he cuts back inside, you're standing up, you can shoot over that cake. If he crawls back inside to get into your 40 and you shoot right over that cake, right to the right of that mini race, it should drop right where he should be crawling. It's a tricky shot you should try. If you're in that corner, you see that snake 1 leave or you see that bunker move, is to shoot that shot, and you may catch him on his pack as he's trying to crawl into your 40. So first off, let's recap a little bit. This snake side, super important. This is your goal, and your real goal, if you're coming, obviously, if you're coming from this way, is to get to that 40 snake, their 40 snake, and apply pressure to the centers and that Dorito side. Now the Dorito side is also, it should also be a pretty strong side. You know, you got a bunch of Doritos lined up. You have 5 big Doritos right there, you know, right there on the tape. The 50 Doritos is furthest outside on the tape. The 50 Dorito, does, if you're able to get there quick, can put a lot of pressure on the snake side. And that's generally how a lot of these fields play. You know, the snake side is the dominant side, but it doesn't mean you can't win games from this Dorito side, especially if you can get there quick. You know, I don't know if he's going to have a direct shot on this corner, but he can definitely apply pressure to any of those support spots on the snake side. And so it's one of those things. Get there quick, and you get there before they're in the snake, or even if they're just in snake 1, you can catch some of these guys, you know, playing a little loose. So right away, those are my 2 kill bunkers. Any, you know, and the second thing I like to do is once I've identified my kill bunkers, now I look to see, okay, I know where my front guys want to be. Now I need for my back guys to figure out how to keep the other team out of those spots. So let's look at this snake side first. If you, like I said, if you're going to practice anything, practice shooting guys off this snake side off the break. Practice running shooting, as you know, running shooting out here and how to effectively live off this side, and also practice how to shoot the other team out. If you're able to get kills off this side, this Mayan Temple becomes very strong. Now you got some pins in the way, but he does have good lanes to lock up this side. So, you know, it's one of those spots you can play it even if they are able to make it out and really keep them out of this and try to keep them out of the snake. These pins may block a few of the shots, but you should be able to hold them. But the real power of this temple is definitely if you're able to shoot dudes off the break and then hold this zone right here and not let them fill the corner, not let them fill that can, and hold that zone. So this is, you know, I look at these 2 bunkers on the snake side as my hold bunkers. That Mayan Temple is going to be more powerful because it's a bunker you can stand up and, you know, stand up in, get down low. You have multiple different ways to defend from it. This temple as well, it's probably the more safe bet because it's a little further back on the field, and the Dorito side is going to have a harder time shooting you. But you know, these pins block some of these shots. That tall cake blocks the shot to the snake. Oh, it looks like you can stop that can from going into the snake. But it looks like you're just shooting a gap. You're not actually battling with that guy. So, like I said, these are going to be the support bunkers for that snake side. You also do want to get out to that corner as well, because you can hold them in that snake 1. So, you know, the can on this side is more just a spot for your guy to get into the snake. So now it's onto this Dorito side. Right away, I noticed this Mayan Temple has a really good shot on this Dorito 1. Anytime, you know, whenever I'm breaking down one of these Dorito sides and I'm breaking it down for the support role of, you know, where we can hold somebody, what I look for, and we generally see on almost every field, is there's going to be a small Dorito somewhere. And on this field, it's the very first bunker. And that gives, to me, that gives an advantage to the defender because he's battling from a Mayan Temple against a guy in a small Dorito. When they're in a big Dorito, they have, you know, basically about 4 spots they can come out of and put you in, you know, 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside, high or low. When they're in a small Dorito, they only have 2 options to come out at you, left side or right side, and you have a huge Mayan to play behind. So, you know, on this Dorito side, I give advantage to this Mayan Temple. If he is able to beat you out of Dorito 1 and get in Dorito 2, you lose the shot on Dorito 2. So your support guy should move to this can because now he has a shot on that Dorito 2 and that Dorito 3. So initially, if you're a support guy on this Dorito side, you want to come to this Mayan Temple and you want to try to really do your best to just dump a ton of paint on that Dorito 1. He's going to be battling out of a small Dorito. You should be able to, win that battle, 7 to 8 times out of 10. He should rarely have to be able to put you in and move. If he does, and it's going to happen, you don't want to die just battling that one guy. If he does put you in and is able to move to Dorito 2, no problem. You move to the can, and now you have him at Dorito 2, and you have him at Dorito 3. The corner on this Dorito side, I'd rather see the support guys stay in this zone right here. If they make it to the 50, you may have to get out to that wing so you can control them down the wire. You don't want to give them the wire. And honestly, if he's already made it to the 50 Dorito, you've failed your job. And so you failed your job like in this zone like we were talking about before. So now it's time to get out to the wire and hold and basically not allow him to wrap that 50 Dorito, because if he's able to wrap this 50 Dorito, he's able to just put a lot of pressure on your own Dorito attacker. So you really want to stay away from this corner as a support guy until they get to that 50 Dorito. Now you can send your attacker there off the break if you're getting shot going Dorito 1 or Dorito 2. But for the most part, as a support guy, as a hold guy, you want to be in one of these two spots, holding that, like I said, Mayan Temple to Dorito 1, holding that guy, and if he makes it past you, get to that can and hold him in there. Both these are somewhat safe for the from the snake side if you're playing real tight. Luckily, the can would be tough, but luckily that Mayan Temple is blocking some of the shots. Another option, if you are facing a team that's pushing this Dorito side real fast, is playing this Mayan Temple cross. I don't really recommend it because I'd rather see most teams go 3 on the snake side and 2 on the Dorito side, but you never know. They may have a really fast, aggressive Dorito guy, and that's something you may have to deal with. And these are some good cross shots. It should go right past that pin over that mini race. There should be a gap. There should be there's probably 1 or 2 more gaps. Yeah, there's one there between Dorito 2 and Dorito 3. So it's an option if they are pushing that snake side real fast. Now, the center of this field, I believe, like I said, this bunker is key. If you can get G's off the break off that snake side, you can really lock down. This snake side. Going up into the X, that's definitely something you can do. There's not much to hide, there's not much to really protect you from that Dorito side rolling up. That temple does protect you, but I just feel like in most cases staying back here is the better option, because if anything happens to any of your snake guys, you can immediately fill back and fill into the snake yourself. If you're up in the X, you really have no options to go anywhere. You're stuck there, and if your snake guys need any help moving down the field, you can't help them because you're in the X. It's better to stay, like I said, back here in this Mayan Temple. Alright guys, I've basically run the course on my notes. So, I'm jealous of y'all. This looks like a really fun field, and I'd like to wish every team that's going to participate good luck, and have fun.